My next guest is an Academy Award-winning filmmaker known for Platoon, Wall Street, and JFK. And now for his new documentary, he spent over 20 hours interviewing Vladimir Putin.
But you do realize how powerful your answer could be if you said subtly that you preferred X candidate. He would go like that tomorrow. And if you say you didn't like Trump or something, right, what would happen? He'd win, right? You have that amount of power in the U.S.
Мы, в отличие от многих наших партнеров, никогда не вмешиваемся во внутриполитические процессы других стран. Это один из принципов нашей работы.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you tomorrow. Talk about some heavier stuff.
Please welcome Oliver Stone. Welcome back.
Yes, not too long ago.
We've talked a few times over the years.
We have.
The last time we were here, about three-quarters of the way through the interview, I asked you a question. You said, well, that's a complex subject. I don't know if we want to get philosophical. And I said, I do want to get philosophical. When I have an Oliver Stone on, I want to talk about politics. I want to talk about philosophy. I want to talk about what is truth, what is not truth, what we can understand. So let's talk about
Give me time.
Vladimir Putin, okay? You spent 20 hours with this guy, and you've gotten a little heat. People have said you're being too cozy with him, that you believe him too easily.
Right. Well,
what do you say to the people who say that this is a fawning interview of a brutal dictator?
you know, you have to be polite because it was a 2-year deal, and it was 4 times, and I was with him numerous times, 2 hours here, an hour here. It was catching up with him. He has a busy schedule. He works 12-hour days for almost 16 years now. So, it's politeness and it's curiosity and it's the way you ask the questions. I think he respected me and I respected my work, and he knew I would give him a fair hearing and I wouldn't be chopped up to pieces. And in fact,
so that interview we just saw, like that little clip, that, 40 seconds that we just saw, or a minute we just saw, where you asked him about interfering in the elections and he said, this is something we don't do. Is your response in that moment, in that clip, what happened in that moment? Is that contiguous in time, or was that an edit?
you can see my face. I took that at face value because I'm not going to. This is an important point for him, and he keeps insisting on it. And I'm
but
going to.
no follow-up on that question.
Not
where he
at that
says, "Oh, we
moment.
didn't do it," and you said, "Okay, great, see you tomorrow." That doesn't seem like an interview. That seems like an opportunity for him to merely propagandize.
Listen, no. In the 4th hour, we went on. I pressed him on the election coming up for him in 2018, and I also pressed him on this issue of Mr. Trump, the whole hacking thing, and cyber warfare. This is important. The cyber warfare is very complex. I don't take it lightly.
Do you like Vladimir Putin? After spending 20 hours with the guy, do you trust him?
I think you should see the film for yourself.
I'm just asking you a question. Do you trust him after spending 20 hours with him? I'd like to see the film. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. But.
He's a head of state. He has his own interests of Russia at mind. I respect him for that. I understand why he's doing it. He's a strong nationalist. Mm-hmm. He went through a whole history of 16 years, since 2000 to now, outlining what the relationship with the U.S. has been. And I never heard him badmouth the U.S. I heard him try to reach out and have a relationship with them. He called them our partners repeatedly. Mm-hmm. I almost made fun of him at one point because it didn't seem that the partnership was working both ways. He really wants still a partnership. That I can tell you, there's a strong feeling that he can still have a relationship with the U.S. That I did not, I felt very genuine about that.
When I watch this documentary, which I will do, what will surprise me most in the 4 hours that I see? About him.
There's a tremendous amount of information in it, a lot of it for the first time we haven't heard. I can't tell you how you think. I think he's devoted to his country, and I'm amazed at his calmness, his as I said, his courtesy. He never really said anything badmouth anybody, and he's been through a lot, and he's been insulted and abused. I didn't sense any kind of abused in the press, in the media. And I didn't sense any kind of anger about that.
Anything about him negative you found? Anything?
You know,
Or does he have your dog in a cage someplace?
what is wrong with détente with Russia? Why would you be against it? And I don't understand this mentality of, maybe it's because you hate Trump. I perhaps can understand.
Hate's a strong word. I don't trust
It is
him.
a strong word. You don't trust
I don't
Trump.
trust him.
So therefore, Russia is convenient as an excuse for hacking
I don't
the
understand
election.
why our president will never say anything negative about Vladimir Putin, given that Putin is an oppressive leader of his country who suppresses the free press and arrests his enemies. And that is not something that I, as an American or a member of the press, can respect. And I'm surprised that you do respect that.
Well, I've always been for free speech.
Yes,
I've
then he
always
doesn't
had
seem
my-
like he would be a hero of that.
Listen, no question, he's a social conservative in that way. He believes that, I don't know why you're laughing, but he believes...
Because it seems like a mild description of his behavior. That's why they're laughing. Seems like a mild description. I don't want you to be able to get out what you want to say here. But this is too long for air.
What I said is in this 4-hour documentary, and I think if you watch it patiently, you'll see that it's developed. It's a film. It has a flow from 2000 all the way up to 2016. It was 17. It has a lot of work in it. We went back after the election to talk to him seriously about the election.
Okay.
And it's all done in that vein, and everything is above board. These things, where has he murdered a man? I wouldn't know how to ask him that question because I've looked at the evidence too, and if I believed it, I'd go after it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's always fascinating to talk to you. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Stone. The Putin Interviews, a 4-part series, airs this week on Showtime, along with a companion book. Oliver Stone, everybody. We'll be right back.